Alright, so welcome to Linkter.ai. In this video, I will show you the core features of our tool and show you how you can leverage Linkter to build internal links faster and easier than probably ever before, right? So once you sign up to Linkter, you will essentially be brought to this screen. Here, you're able to add your own websites, manage them, resync them, and so on. To do that, you can simply click the Add New Website button, and then you will be prompted to add your website's URL. At the moment of recording this video, you can only add WordPress-based websites because we are only supporting WordPress at the moment, but our goal is to make Linkter completely platform agnostic at one point. Once you add your website's URL, which I did now, and you saw the error because the website is already added previously, you will need to complete the onboarding process. You can do that by clicking this button here. You will be seeing this screen, which will lead you to download our WordPress plugin that we built specifically for Linkter. All it takes is to download this plugin, go back to your WordPress website, install that plugin, activate it, and then copy your secret API key, which allows us to pull in the data from your website. Once that's done, click Save Changes, and you can start the syncing process. The syncing process usually takes between 5 and 15 minutes, depending on the size of your website, and it allows us to scrape your website's data and start building the internal link recommendations. Once that's done, your website will essentially be added completely, and you're capable of resyncing with the website every 3 days, meaning pulling in the new data, new post data every 3 days, and so on. And once your website is added, you're essentially capable to start building the internal links. But what I also advise you to do is integrate Google Search Console and OpenAI data. So with Google Search Console, is this necessary? First and foremost, it's not necessary. You can still get all of the recommendations and build your internal links even without integrating these two. But why do we advise you to do this? If you integrate Google Search Console data, it helps us and you by giving you the better recommendations, specifically on the anchor text, by now analyzing your data from the Google Search Console, specifically the keywords data. And as for OpenAI, that gives you an option to integrate your internal links using the latest ChatGPT models. And we're not offering you our own API key because we want to keep the prices low for our users. So we allow everyone to bring their own API key and integrate that. I already integrated both of these for this account, so I won't show you how to do that, but it's pretty simple. Just follow the process, or just copying and pasting the API key for the OpenAI integration. Well, that's pretty much it for the setup. It shouldn't take you more than 10-15 minutes to set all of this up, and once that's ready, you can start building your internal links. So to walk you through the features, I just want to say that we built essentially 3 different features at the moment, which is Copilot, Matchmaker, and Monitoring. We'll focus mostly on the Copilot and Matchmaker because those are kind of the key features that helps you build internal links fast and easy. So let's start with Copilot. Once you go into Copilot, you will essentially be brought to this screen, which is split kind of in 3 different areas. The first area, recommendations, are essentially the internal link recommendations between 2 different posts, the source post or the target post. All of this is kind of ordered by the relevance score, which is our internal system of rating how relevant are 2 topics. We are splitting the recommendations by post topic and by post content. So what does that mean? By post topic, that means that we are analyzing the main intent of the post by looking at the title of the post and trying to match the semantically relevant topics simply by looking at the title, right? And by post content, we are essentially analyze the intent of the title and try to match that by looking at all of the other content, actually the post content of other posts on your website. So, and therefore trying to match the keyword, which is by post content is essentially keyword matching, in other words, and by post topic is topic matching. In here, you will see that you will have likely hundreds of recommendations depending on the size of your website. The more posts you have, especially if they're semantically relevant, the more recommendations you have and better recommendations, right? The second part is the anchor text manager. This is kind of our biggest feature because everything kind of revolves around the anchor text manager, right? It allows you to choose the key phrases for each of your content, which helps us and you give you better recommendations and run the algorithms better. So in the anchor text manager, we have some of the applied key phrases, which are essentially just your title and maybe like what we find to be like the core keyword or like the intent of the post. So it analyzes for each of these. We'll see that it changes. And what it does, it analyzes the target post in both of these instances. It gives you the applied key phrases, and then it gives you the suggested key phrases, which are just what we are assuming that is essentially relevant to the main topic of the post, which you can use to add by simply clicking on any of these. And you can also add your custom target key phrases as well, meaning you can essentially add whatever you find to be relevant and whatever you might want to use as a anchor text for your posts. So for a topic of like leaving your cat alone, I would say, or like how long is okay to do that. Maybe you want to add the custom like key phrase like can you leave your cat alone? Just click add, and that's added as well in here. After that, I always advise you to click apply changes, which reruns the algorithm again to analyze the content of the source post and try to find the best place or like the best sentence or like the best paragraph to place those internal links, right? And in here you're essentially able to see that, right? It gives you it usually gives you like 3 suggestions, but it really depends on the number of like key phrases that you added. Sometimes it's going to be just like 1 suggestion or maybe like 2 or something like that, but up to 3 suggestions is what we kind of do. And you can also go into the context overview, which allows you to see where exactly those sentences are, which helps you because you may not want to add internal links in the first paragraph, or like it just gives you like the bird eye view of like where is the sentence that we are recommending and what is the what is the content around it, what is the context, and it allows you to see where you're essentially adding an internal link. So for example, like in here, always consider cat's unique personality, and then you get that the link placement suggestion there. That's about it as far as like the features go. That's how we split. So let me just show you how it works on like choosing one of the recommendations. Let's go with this one. This one seems quite interesting. The source post is 5 ways to help feral cats, and the target post is like 2 different programs of managing feral cats, or like what are the solutions and so on. So once I pick this one, I usually just go in and see what are the apply key phrases. Like I would add suggested like this. I would say maybe trap euthanize is something that's relevant. Click add. Go apply changes. Usually at the beginning, I just try to add maybe 1, 2, 3, and then see what are the link suggestions. Or like if I already have like I previously set up like a number of anchor texts for specific posts, I can just load them up in here immediately and then just not worry about them later on. And then I just go below and see what we can add. So if this is the source post, this is the link placement suggestion for the target post. So our target post is about trap neuter return program or trap euthanize. And as you can see, the link placement suggestion in this case is quite relevant. The second one, yep, it again mentions the trap neuter method. And the third one, also TNR, mentioned in here. And it makes sense that this is quite relevant because the relevance score is quite high. And it's natural that as the relevance score kind of drops, maybe below 60% or like 50%, you're gonna have like a bit harder time building those internal links because the topics are kind of like far off between each other. And some of the recommendations can simply be ignored, right? You will not always build internal links for every recommendation out there. But in this case, like looking at this, what I would do is probably I would just choose this one and click Add Link to Selection and make this like a contextual internal link for this post. Obviously, it's not maybe ideal. Volunteering for a trap neuter return program is for this post. I would say it's pretty good contextual internal link, but if I'm not happy with that, I can just change this sentence, like for volunteering for trap neuter return program or trap euthanize, and then make it kind of more relevant because it mentions both of these, and I can just pick whatever text I want there. I can also create a custom link, which is the feature that I love the most. So if you didn't integrate the OpenAI API key previously, you will not have the create custom link option. So this is why it's important to kind of integrate that OpenAI integration. So now, because I did that, I have the create a custom options, which gives me this screen. It gives me the option to choose different AI models. I usually just select the latest one because it's the best one. And then choose any of the key phrases that I added previously. So maybe I'll say trap euthanize or like TNR for cats, and then choose the match type between exact match, partial match, and contextual match, which kind of gives AI what we are trying to do here, gives him more like a perspective and so on. And then just click the preview button, and AI will do its thing to try and integrate that internal link. So he created an additional sentence, and let's see how it looks. So if you're interested in learning more about TNR for feral cats, it's a highly effective method for managing. So it added another sentence to add that internal link. But if you didn't like that, you can just click revert changes and try something else. What we also built in here is the prompt. And in here, you can essentially write your own prompt, meaning that you can add additional context to AI on like how do you want that internal link integrated. So in this case, I may tell him like, well, my usual prompt is like, try to integrate this internal link in an actual, and then maybe say like into the existing sentence. Click preview, and let's see what he's capable of doing. Okay, so he changed that sentence. This is one of the best way I know to direct. Okay, he added, if I want to make a difference, essentially he added another sentence again, which just proves that the system is not always ideal because it takes a little bit of time to find the right prompts. Maybe we say modify the sentence below, to integrate the internal link in a natural way. Don't add a new sentence. And then click again, preview, and see what's gonna happen. Yes, so he essentially modified the existing sentence and now says volunteering for a TNR for Pelicats program, which is our anchor text key phrase, or like our anchor text that we chose, an exact match, and it looks pretty good. Then just click save, apply link, and in like matter of like seconds, that link will be added to the website, which you can also view or edit directly there. And as you can see, that one is now checked. And once I refresh the screen, it's no longer going to be shown there. You can always, another thing I want to show is that you can always choose a specific recommendations and then decide to hide it if you don't like it or if you think it's not relevant. Again, this is like sort of like an AI based system, so recommendations are not always necessarily perfect. We try to make it as relevant as possible, but sometimes people just say, okay, I don't find this relevant, or I don't want this internal link. So it's just easy to click the hide recommendation, and that recommendation will not be showing again, because, for example, in these two, you can see that they're essentially the same topics, right? Most popular cat breeds in both cases, which probably shouldn't even exist on the website, but that's another topic. I also wanted to show you how you can manage this by post content, meaning a kind of different approach. So let's look at some of the suggestions. So this is, as I said, analyzing this is essentially just like keyword matching. It's analyzing the actual content of all of the posts on your website and trying to match what's relevant there. So in this case, this target post is all about litter boxes, and it's now looking at the content of other posts, which may not necessarily be relevant on the topic level. For example, like in the source post, this is like 10 things a cat will never forgive you, which doesn't really have anything to do with like litter boxes. But if you actually look at the content in here, it's suggesting like litter box avoidance, meaning this is probably why it's finding it relevant. And in here, you can just repeat the process all over again, right? It just gives you an option to find those keywords, main keywords for the post in other content, even if they are not topically relevant necessarily, but there are relevance between those. So I don't want to do the entire process again, but it just shows you how you can do that by also looking at the post content as well. And as you may have noticed by now, like the Copilot is essentially like a feature that's built on the queue, meaning that it only gives you recommendations from that may appear like random. They're obviously not random, and it gives you the relevant score, but they are ordered by the relevant score. And if you want to skip the queue and essentially just like take any content that's specific content, like a specific page that you want to build internal links towards, you can do that in the matchmaker. And this is probably my favorite feature of this tool, because I can just add essentially any keyword, any post URL. Let's say best cat food, because I'm choosing this one because I'm assuming that the best cat food is like one of those posts that on a cat-based website, it's gonna be good for internal links. So once I add that in, click search, matchmaker is going to run essentially the same algorithm, but now it's only going to search for the matches for this specific URL. So on top of this, we built an option to choose whether you want that to be a source post, meaning do you want to build links from best cat food post towards other content on your website, or do you want to make that a target post, meaning building from other content on your website towards this one. So whatever you choose, you're going to get a good amount of options. Again, you will have the anchor text manager at the bottom here. And again, picking up a couple of different key phrases. Let's just say, I like these ones. That's pretty good. Apply changes. It's gonna rerun the algorithm, and then again you will be getting the same ones. I just want to show you this as well because you can see that the relevance score is a bit lower than the recommendations there, but the recommendations in here are quite relevant as well. And it shows you like if you think about best cat food as a target post, all of these are really like kind of like good recommendations for this post, right? And then you essentially repeat the same process, right? You will get a couple of suggestions. You can also look to see where they are inside of content. You can also build internal links from the context overview. You don't need to go back in here. You can use this screen, go in here and just, pick the sentence that you like. Maybe you want it at the bottom. Fresher the better. You can sometimes you will have like a good option in here as for the relevant key phrase. In this case, it's not a good option because this source post is about homemade cat food and the target post is the best cat food. So we kind of don't want this to be our anchor text. And you can just, again, use the custom link option to build that internal link a bit more easily, just by instructing AI on what kind of change they want to see there. And that's pretty much it as far as the features go. Monitoring, I'll just spend a couple seconds, but it just gives you an overview of all of the internal links that you've added using using Linkter. And we plan to build on monitoring a lot, give you a little bit of more filtering that you can use to kind of find what you want in here. And then on top of that, we also plan to scrape all of the other internal links that you already have on your website and gives you a bit more reporting options on like the internal linking structure and how is the link juice flowing through your website and so on. But that's pretty much it. Let me know if you liked what we built so far here. If you have any questions or if you need any help setting up your website in Linkter. Thank you, and I hope you're going to love this.